What's up, everybody? Welcome to Headset Havoc. I'm one of your hosts, Josh Wilson. Here with me today is the Daywalker, Corey Holder.
What up? What up?
Hey.
How are you?
I feel like shit.
You sound like shit earlier. Not so much now, but you sounded pretty bad.
Well, see, I've been rotating back and forth between hot liquids and cold liquids, so.
Well,
Thank God you don't look like shit.
Oh, and right there, also here with us today, Mr. 7600, back from wherever the hell he went.
Drop in hockey.
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 It's called what? Drop in hockey?
It's like pickup hockey. You used to call it drop in.
So it's the
Yankee
opposite.
stuff. Yankee
It's,
stuff.
instead of pick up, it's drop in.
Yeah, it's shit us people with seasons do.
What's that?
No, we have seasons down here.
Yeah.
What, hot and hotter?
Yeah, humid.
It's just
humid.
It's humid and
It's
less
the main
humid.
season.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have. It's kind of cold, hot / construction. Kind of cold.
Construction.
What the fuck is this?
Yeah, what the hell is this construction shit?
What season is construction?
Usually involves with the summertime.
So does that mean that people are constructing things? I mean, what's the deal there?
Like as soon as it starts getting warm, roads, fuck it, doing construction.
Oh, okay.
Construction season. You know what I'm talking about? Where they decide
I mean,
to fuck up
down
the whole
here,
program.
all year's construction season, bro.
Yeah, all year long, all year long.
Cause like in January the lowest it'll be is like 60.
Nah, bro. It gets a little cooler than that.
Like what are we talking?
Down here, they work on roads year round.
Yeah, our roads are good.
See, because we have actual like winters and snow, our roads take a beating during the winter time.
Oh, yeah.
Salt and hot and cold, flipping. Yeah. Like last week it went from 85 one day to 58 and rain and wind the next.
That's good t-shirt weather.
Yeah, buddy, that's shorts and flip flops.
I played softball in like a thin like Nike Pro Combat and shorts, and people thought I was absolutely insane.
Oh, dude, that's all year round here, man.
Absolutely, I would kill for that temperature year round.
Yeah.
I'm more of like a 70, 75 kind of guy personally, but
So what's the humidity level like up there?
does depend because it can get pretty humid. I mean, it's not as bad as like
Here.
I don't know. Like I can tell you what today's is. Hang on, let me tell you what today's is.
Well, it was like 80% humidity today.
80%.
Now, granted, there's a tropical something coming through.
Right
Tropical
now,
something.
right
Yeah,
now
like-
it's 68. 60% humidity.
Oh, that's wintertime here, bud.
Yeah, the high today was like only like 75. Tomorrow's supposed to be 79. Wednesday 80. Thursday 80. Friday 78. Light rain. Saturday 77. Sunday 77. Monday 81. Yeah,
I mean,
nice.
that's pretty comparable to what it is here, but it's also half as humid.
Y'all should just come move up north.
I don't know, man. You
I've
guys
done
are
put
weird.
I've done put down roots.
Yeah. You're getting ready to pop another root, too.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. I think we actually find out on Friday what it is, whether it's a boy or girl. So that's pretty exciting.
1 to 10, how pumped are you?
I don't know.
mean-
So I'm excited regardless,
Oh, yeah.
but when it gets real for me is like when you like first feel the kick.
Oh, yeah.
Or, you know, that's when it's like real. And also, like, whenever we find out when it's whether it's a boy or girl, and because we already have names picked out, then you can actually start calling it what its name is.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's exciting stuff. Exciting stuff.
I'm pretty pumped. I know my wife is really pumped for it. She's pumped to find out.
Question.
I don't know
If
how
it's a
pumped
boy,
my daughter is though.
if it's a boy, can you name it Brock?
No, but
Can I start a petition to get this shit going?
you can start whatever you want. This is a free country.
Okay.
For now.
I'm just
Anyways.
saying, like, would you accept like the petition as a formal petition, like even though it might not go through, or would your wife just get really angry at me?
I mean, I'll accept it as a petition, but I mean, it's just a petition. I'm not going to change anything. It's just
it's not going to change. It's not going to change the outcome.
It's just a document with a lot of names on it.
I'm getting Trump, man. We're gonna change your names out here.
Good luck.
No one my luck, he'd actually agree.
Have you met my wife? Have you met my wife?
Do you know how? I don't think you know
haven't met
what
your
you're getting into on that one.
Because the last time I think I talked to your wife was a famous incident that y'all know about.
Yeah. She hates you. Like,
She doesn't hate me.
No, she hates us for what we do to him.
It's not bad. It's funny. I joke about it all the time.
Yeah.
I think it's funny. I made a joke about it today, actually.
Well, there you go. You gotta laugh at yourself sometimes.
And all the viewers are clueless, and we're just gonna leave it there because it's hysterical.
Yeah, they don't know what's going on, but you know that's our private lives. You want to know? Go over to our Patreon.
get the extra.
You can find me on Facebook if you want to really know.
There. No, but if you didn't know, listeners, then yeah, we're once again rolling with only 3. The dragon, he's off doing dragon-like things, you know.
Is
Smitty
he
doing so
though?
many things.
Is he?
You can bet your ass he's blowing smoke somewhere.
He's blowing heavy clouds somewhere.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, he definitely is. So he's enjoying his graduation vacation. So
Yeah,
he should be back next week.
Yeah, he'll be back tomorrow.
That's right. He will be back tomorrow. So
I think we're leaving first thing in the morning.
So he better be on this podcast next week. Maybe we'll all be back together.
Well, I don't know, Josh. It'll be mine. Your turn to take a vacation.
I can't leave.
Yeah.
Where am I going to go? I mean, what are we? Are y'all going to? We all go
when you
through
were
the
late,
outline?
Brock and myself we were debating on how we were going to pull duty without you if you weren't there.
And I thought it was going to be probably the wildest one we were going to do, for the simple fact that it was going to be 45 minutes of me and him probably talking about
Nothing.
just a whole bunch of nothing like we normally do, and then being like, oh yeah, by the way, here's this topic,
Here's your
and
email. And then get that
later.
over in like 10 minutes and then be done.
So I send out an outline that has I want one of y'all. Maybe we'll do it on a bonus episode where one of you guys drives the train here.
you don't want that problem. That will not end up well.
We may have to redo it, but
It'll be a train wreck.
maybe it'll be like a super bonus episode. You know,
Extra bonus.
yeah, extra bonus, super bonus.
Yeah.
Is that
Maybe
even a thing?
It's not, but it could be.
That could be the next
Every
Patreon
bonus
for you.
episode. Every bonus episode's led by someone other than Josh.
Yep.
Shoot. Nobody would pay for it.
Speaking of that, does Josh even have a nickname? We all have nicknames, but Josh never
I don't.
says he had a nickname.
Because it's just I'm one of your hosts. That's my nickname.
Yeah, he's one of our hosts.
I feel like he's ducking this one.
I mean, whenever somebody else drives the train, you don't really drive the train. Conducts the train.
Yeah.
No, you drive them still.
Oh,
Anymore, you drive them.
well. Whenever you drive whatever vehicle this podcast is, you can come up with a nickname.
I'm starting to think of them now.
Can't wait.
Oh Lord! So what have you guys been playing?
That whole moving van thing.
Yeah.
I haven't
Moving
really
Simulator
time to play
2017.
much.
It doesn't leave. Yeah, Moving Simulator.
There we go. Yeah, it's like Sims, the moving game.
Moving Simulator
Oh,
17.
So really not much. We
You
play
sweat
2K
it.
a little bit here and there, but
Sweat a lot more.
yeah, lots of sweat.
Yeah, moving definitely takes up, your time, whereas it doesn't allow for much gaming time.
No, it's really cutting in my fun time, and then this whole pressure washing and building things. Yeah.
Are you still pressure washing?
Well, I didn't get to today because of the whole rain ordeal. So I'll
Right.
probably continue that tomorrow. Actually, the father-in-law and I are building the handicap ramp.
Gotcha.
We started that this evening.
Now, where's that going? Is
It's
that
gonna
around back or in front?
it's gonna be on the deck,
Gotcha.
like to the where the grill's at.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it like coming around from the side and on that side of the deck, like the upper side.
I see.
Yeah, it's not gonna be much of an issue, but it'd be a little fun.
Gotcha.
Fun deal.
And you, Brock?
I have been playing a smorgasbord of games. A little bit of 2K, as usual. Batman Arkham Knight.
Oh, did you pick that up?
I did. Haven't played in a while, but I've been playing it.
Oh, I remember. I was sorry. I was thinking Telltale's Batman for some reason.
Lego Marvel superheroes, because why not?
Yeah. Who doesn't need that in their life?
Exactly.
How is that?
It's actually not bad. It's kind of cheesy. You can definitely tell it's a kid game, like during the cutscenes and whatnot. But
Yeah.
Right.
it's the first one that I've played that's like an open world. Like there's different challenges, and there's like 250 I think characters or something, and like
Dang.
there's some things that are kind of complicated. And you have to beat the mission on story mode to then go back with characters to unlock certain things. It's pretty good. Playing NHL 18 the beta.
The snowboard game.
Steep.
Yeah,
I
seen
picked
you
that
playing
up the other day. That's pretty fun. I enjoyed the beta and the gold edition. So I had the season pass and the game for like $35. It was on sale for $35 instead of like $80. So I scooped that up. Been playing Grand Theft Auto Online.
Oh yeah, Maverick Daniels was in playing on that too.
Yeah, man, it's because my one of my best friends I've known since like second grade, who was in the Marines, got out recently, who lived in North Carolina with you guys for the past 5 years.
Yeah, but he was on the coast.
Yeah,
He was
So
in the
where-
bad part.
Where,
He was in
where
G-
was it?
Cherry Point.
Cherry Point. He was in the hot zone. That place is very
Yeah.
hot.
Yeah, he just recently got back into town, so he has like 2 games, and it's NHL 17, so we've played that a little bit, and Grand Theft Auto Online. Corey knows this, but we used to have a running joke of things better than his internet.
I've
Everything.
heard these. I've heard these.
Yeah,
And looking
everything.
back, we said one was his marriage. God.
Yeah, full disclosure, he is not married anymore.
Full disclosure. Yeah, there was that. It was. We got pretty rude with it.
Not married, and his internet was still
Way
worse
better.
than his marriage.
No, not anymore. Not currently.
No.
Currently, it is very good.
Well, not the marriage because it's non-existent. So the internet, then I guess.
Yeah, the internet's
Internet's
fantastic.
solid.
Now, is this the one that
Internet.
used to have to play through his phone?
No, that was
Who was that we played with that had to play through a hotspot on their phone?
That was
what-
Bojangles.
Yeah, Bojangles. Yeah.
That was
Maverick Dangles, Bojangles, it rhymes.
no. different people.
Little Night.
I'm just saying it rhymes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was his name was Little Knight. Then he forgot his password or something because I knew him from playing with some other people we know on Call of Duty, and yeah, he didn't have internet or something like that. So
He had moved somewhere and they didn't have internet.
yeah, so he had to play through like one of the Verizon hotspots on his phone. Or something like
Oh, they couldn't get internet where he lived or something.
that. Or they, yeah, something to that effect.
It may have been
yeah.
like your in-laws, Josh, like something like that.
It's terrible internet. That's the reason
Yeah.
I went dark for a year.
Yeah, we lost you, and then you found the light.
And you came back with a vengeance.
Oh gosh, it's awful. So speaking of that shitty internet situation at work this morning, one of the one of my bosses calls. He works in the Florida office. I was like, "Hey, we haven't been at the office for like a month because there's 3 guys down in the Florida location." And they're like, "We haven't been down here in a while," and like apparently they were sending our internet bills here. So we haven't gotten them because they're supposed to come to our location. That's where, all the mail is received. And they've cut off all the internet. He said, and also this internet shit. He said, get us some better internet. And I was like, all right, I'll see what I can do. So I called, and I was on the phone with him for an hour, getting everything paid, all the late fees, changing the billing address. And then I was like, oh, and they were like, is there anything else that we can do for you? I was like, yes. What is the internet speed there? And he was like, it is 1.5 meg down. And I'm like, 1.5. And he said, yes. And I was like, down. And he said, yes. And I said, that's it. 1.5. Yes, sir, that is correct. And I'm like, all right, what's it going to cost to increase that? He said, oh, you don't qualify for that. And I'm like, what do you mean I don't qualify? what are you talking about? Yeah. I was like, me? Well, I mean, what's it cost? And he was like, no, that's the best service that is in your area. I was like, oh, okay. Well,
now we know.
Fuck me, right?
Fuck me running.
That's all I can do then.
Yeah.
Have a nice day. So
you
yeah.
don't qualify.
Yeah, I was like, and he said it just like that, and I was like, what the fuck you talking about? I don't qualify. But yeah, and it was a cool morning.
You don't That's just hurtful.
And then I'm a little sick, so yeah, I didn't.
So you're uber irritated, like the little things are sort of just ready to set you off.
And it's hurting to talk because my voice is when you first wake up, it's always the worst.
Oh yeah,
It's hurting to talk a little bit. And I'm like, he had me repeat my credit card like 400 times. And he was like, it's for security purposes. I was like, I understand, but I just want you to realize that I got a cold and it hurts to talk. And he was like, yeah, I get it. Anyways.
Can you spell it out for me?
That was my morning.
Yeah.
So I've been playing a couple different games. Of course, my comfort food, 2K. We'll have some. I think. Do we have any? I don't know if I put any 2K news in there or not. I try to avoid it.
I don't think there was.
They've been putting out some images, some player models.
Hey, good God,
Oh,
dude, they
yes.
look great.
Damn, they look good. No,
Got
if
me-
only the
got me all-
gameplay would match it.
Got me all jacked up,
Oh,
Yeah.
man,
So. Yeah.
like a one of those like 64 ounces of Mountain Dew, like those big 7-Eleven cups you can get.
A Smitty size.
Ooh.
Woo!
Bubba keg.
So the comfort food 2K. I played a little bit of Tales from the Borderlands. I pop in and play that every now and again. That's a fun game. It's comical. I love the humor. I love
I
the
do too.
Borderlands humor. It's
It's the typical
very-
Telltale humor.
Well, it's Telltale and Borderlands,
Yeah.
and I like that. I like that
Patrick
humor. So.
Warburton's on it too.
Yeah, they don't take themselves too seriously.
Oh no.
I think Troy Baker does great.
Yeah, he really does.
Did you ever look up that Twitch stream?
Which one?
The one with Troy Baker where they do like the like kind of Dungeons and Dragons stuff?
Oh no, I have not.
Hang on, I'm gonna look it up real quick.
You have to send me a text message so I'll remember it. I'm gonna say like a whole bunch of words between now and the next 45 minutes. I'll forget. So I played that. I actually played a couple of rounds. I re-downloaded Infinite Warfare.
What?
I just had I had a first person shooter itch that had to be scratched, so I re-downloaded it. Played I don't know. I played probably 7 rounds of team deathmatch. Just I still suck. All these I'm like the first damn match. I was like I cannot wait for World War II to drop because this jumping around bullshit's getting old. See, I think we'll have an advantage when it goes back to on the ground because all these kids that's grown up playing it for the last 3 or 4 years do all this jumping bullshit.
Yeah, I can't wait for that not to be a thing.
Me too. I want boots back on the ground. I'm excited about it. If you didn't know,
Anywho,
we are Headset Havoc.
That was 22 minutes of us rambling for no
A
apparent.
weekly podcast that releases every Wednesday, rain or shine. This is definitely one of those rain weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, it's pouring.
Yep. Each week, it's metaphorically and actually raining. It's like pouring cats and dogs here. Plus, I feel like
It's
shit.
out of a boot.
Each week, we get together, we talk about the most recent gaming news, we give our opinions on it, we shoot a lot of shit. We also answer all of your burning questions. At the end of the show, we throw in a rogue topic and we round it out with a nice little band pick of the week. If you like what you hear, head over to patreon.com/headsethavoc, where as little as $1 grants you access to exclusive content each and every month. If you don't feel like it's worth $1, well, that's cool too. Just listening and sharing our content helps spread the word. And we keep growing. I'm really pleased with our growth. It's more than I expected.
Thank you, guys.
We really, really do appreciate it. And I'd like to start the show with mail call.
Oh. God damn it,
God, what a fucking train wreck.
Oh man, I clicked the wrong fucking button.
4 days.
And then I just... God, I'm a fucking mess. I apologize.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I thought you were going to do it later in the show. So
This
I
is the way it always goes.
So I was looking at the outline and you did it. And I was like, oh shit.
There are 6 pieces of news this week.
We'll let it ride.
Number 1. We'll figure it out. Number 1. Horizon Zero Dawn's The Frozen Wilds DLC release date announced. Horizon Zero Dawn's first expansion now has a release date. The Frozen Wilds is due out on November 7th. A story-based DC was announced shortly after the release of Horizon, but no information was released until E3, when they released a dope-ass trailer. The DLC features a new area with new story content, side quests, and more. The Frozen Wilds will cost $20 US, £16 or $30 Australian upon its release. But right now, PlayStation Plus members can currently pick it up on PSN at a discount, dropping its price to $15, $14.39, and $27 respectively. Anyone who pre-orders it receives a special Banuk Alloy avatar for use on PSN. I am pumped.
Already have it.
Have you already bought it?
Or pre-order or whatever, yeah.
Look at you, you sly devil.
Yeah, buddy.
I gotta get on there and I don't know how long this offer is gonna last.
That's
So I
the
need to
reason
get
I
on
did
there
to
and-
start with. As soon as I saw it was $15.
I may do it here after we get done with this podcast. I need to get on there. I'm obviously gonna buy it.
Yeah.
I'm ashamed of myself.
If
Well,
I
you don't
beat
have
you
it
to
yet.
it,
either.
No.
you're slacking.
Oh, you're still How about the mail call?
Let the mail call incident.
Let's try it again. Mail call.
Boom.
I feel so much better now.
Look at that. If only we could have done it the first time.
And I'm not editing that out. We're leaving that in.
No, leave it in. That's authenticity.
Yeah. That's just general, just stupidness.
That is the shit y'all don't usually see.
Number
Or here.
2. The top 20 best-selling PS4 games on PlayStation Network for July 2017 has been revealed. So these are
There's some
interesting.
surprises on there.
I was about to say that, yeah.
This is interesting. Number 1, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. I kind of expected that one. Number 2, Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor Game of the Year Edition. Number 3, God of War 3 Remastered.
Woo woo. Oh.
Those are up there. I assume there was some sales. That's probably what's driving that.
The Shadow of Mordor was definitely on sale.
I think it was cheap as
Remastered.
hell.
It was.
Remastered was on sale for like $10, I think.
Yeah.
And if you missed that sale and you haven't played that game, ooh, I don't know what you're doing.
It was a good game. I really like the what was the name of that system that they had? I can't even think of it right now. Where you had the enemy. What was the name of that damn system?
I don't even know what you're trying to say.
Bro, do you have any idea?
In God of War?
No, not God of War, and Shadow of Mordor.
I never played Shadow of Mordor.
I thought that's what you were talking about.
I'm talking about God of War 3.
Remastered.
Oh, now see.
It was on sale for like $10. I don't know what you're doing if you haven't played that game and it was on sale for $10.
See?
No,
They were
Shadow of
having
Mordor, they
$10 in
had
their
like...
pocket. That's what they were doing.
Yeah, that's about the point. They had like orcs and stuff. It's Lord of the Rings. I mean...
Yeah, I don't
No,
know.
that's not what I'm looking for. It's the chief, the combat system, the notoriety system. What the fuck was it called? Somebody out there is screaming at their
Someone out there was pissed
speakers.
off
Yeah,
at
absolutely.
you.
This stupid idiot.
I think it's politely what they're saying.
Nemesis system.
He
That's
just
it.
Googled that on his phone.
I did Google it.
150%.
I googled it on my laptop.
Honestly, I
did
can't do
Google it
that
nonetheless.
because
With
you'll
mechanical keyboards. Pop,
be
pop,
hearing
pop, pop.
NORAD go off.
Yeah. Anyways, Nemesis system. It was cool. I didn't beat the game, but I played enough of it that I know what it was about. Number 4, Friday the 13th.
This
Huge
game,
deal.
I don't think it is. It's weird for me because it seems like just a little bit more like customizable version of Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's got the name recognition.
Yeah,
It's
that's why it was a huge deal. It wasn't a huge deal for me personally, but
Yeah,
a lot of our friends and people with Twitter exploded with it for 2 or 3 weeks. For
the first 2 or 3 weeks, dude, it was popping off on like Twitch and everything.
It's still doing great. It was number 1 last month.
Mm-hmm.
It was number 1 last month. It's number 4 this month.
Yeah.
It's. I would like to get it. I played Dead by Daylight, and Friday the 13th seems to appeal more to me because Dead by Daylight isn't. There's not as many options to escape if you're not the monster, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So you basically have fixing the generators and finding a key. That's how you escape in Dead by Daylight.
And you can't use that key until all the generators are on.
So everything's fixed. Yeah.
Right. So it's not. It doesn't have the diversity that, to me, my opinion, that Friday the 13th has. You have cars. You can escape. You can escape by boat. You can call the police. So there's a number of things that you can do, I believe, with Friday the 13th. So interesting. Number 5, Rocket League.
Doesn't surprise me. Great game.
Doesn't
I
surprise
think it'll
me.
be higher actually.
It stays on the charts. Number 6, Grand Theft Auto 5. That game will not die.
And not as
It
big.
just shows how good of a game Rockstar made. Like I said, I've been playing it recently. I've been playing story mode every now and then, and it's still fun as hell to steal cars and run over hookers.
Yeah.
Not in real life,
yeah,
just
well-
in the video game.
Number 7, Minecraft PlayStation 4 edition.
That surprised me.
Oh, it almost always charts.
I mean, you're the one always looking at the charts. I'm just going off of.
It almost always charts. So it's like it sells phenomenally. Call of Duty Modern, yeah, Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. Number 9, Ratchet and Clank. Number 10, EA Sports UFC 2. I assume there was a sale.
Yeah, it had to be.
Regardless
That
of
was
sale or not.
a surprise.
Surprised the hell out of me because that game is really one-dimensional.
Yeah, so I assume it's a sale because it's been out 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in the career mode, even if you haven't taken a lot of damage, they're like, oh well, you're taking too much damage, time to retire. And I had like 7 fights. That's it.
Number 11, Final Fantasy 12, The Zodiac Age. Number 12, Star Wars Battlefront Ultimate Edition. Number 13, Madden NFL 17. 14, Battlefield 1. 15, Ghost Recon Wildlands, which is currently the number 1 selling game of the year. 16, How to Survive 2. We contributed.
We did.
Number 17, MLB The Show 17. Number 18, Mad Max. Pretty sure there was a sale on that as well. Number 19, Ark Survival Evolved. Number 20, Elite Dangerous. I have no idea what that is.
I don't either.
You know what's crazy to me? Ghost Recon 15 on this list of July. You said number 1 so far this year.
Yep.
You know how much shit I read online bashing that game?
Probably about as much as I
how-
did. and just rolled my eyes.
It wasn't diverse enough. It was only one play style. The missions were repetitive and boring. It was a cheaper version of The Division, which is a shit show. Don't care, still love the game. I was like, I have a shitload of fun playing this game. It's a gorgeous game. There's nothing funnier than watching Josh launch himself off a cliff on a dirt bike for no reason, just because he wants to get somewhere faster. Like, I don't know what people want anymore.
Oh, there's
Or
reasons.
you standing in the road waiting on somebody, and your friend run over you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
Never,
Me
never
either.
happened. Never heard of her.
Oh, okay. Allegedly. Sorry. Allegedly ran over.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
I'm like Ray Lewis out here. Allegedly ran you over.
Yeah.
It was never proven. There's no video evidence. Never proven.
Wonderful.
Super.
We gotta get back to that game, finish it off.
We did.
Well, we're halfway through it. Yeah, and we got to do it. And there's
Soon.
DLCs because I have the season pass. Haven't touched it.
Uncharted drops the 20. I keep saying 26th. It's not the 26th. That's a Saturday. The 20 something. It's
I'll
coming.
tell you.
It's coming.
The 21st. Would that be right?
Sounds good to me.
It's
Sure.
a Tuesday. It's in 2 weeks.
Sounds good to me. Yeah, it's coming. I'll be playing
That
it.
game's gonna.
Winter is coming.
It's gonna explode.
Winter is coming.
I don't think people are ready for how well that game's gonna do.
I think a lot of people are sleeping on it.
Because it doesn't have Drake in it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's still
Don't
still
be.
an Uncharted game. It's still gonna bang.
Yeah.
Don't sleep.
Stay woke.
Boom. Number 3, Call of Duty World War II. So is it WW2 or World War II? How are they pronouncing it?
I call it
Anybody
WW Deuce personally.
Okay, that's definitely not the way they're doing it.
That's gonna be weird and incorrect. Incorrect.
You got about WW Deuce.
No. Call of Duty WW2. I'm saying World War II. Fuck it. The Valor Edition revealed, just like previous Call of Duty games before it, this year's Call of Duty World War II will have a premium version that comes with extra content. The Valor Collection Pro, as it's called, comes with the game's Pro Edition, which includes a Steelbook case and the Season Pass, as well as a pin and patches. It also includes a Zombies poster. The centerpiece of the Valor Collection Pro is the bronze statue that appears to be inspired by a D-Day scene. You can see everything in the bundle. It's over at EB Games Australia. They're currently taking pre-orders for it. There's also a less expensive Valor collection that comes with everything except the Season Pass. Now, I know you guys know what the price is because it's in the outline.
And we've already had this discussion. Yes.
Yeah, I've already
Holy
commented.
bananas.
Go ahead. You say it.
$269.95 for the Valor Edition Pro and $229.95 for the Valor Edition, which lacks the
For
Season
a
Pass.
$60 video game.
With a statue, you gotta be fucking stupid. Like, I can't talk. I spent $150 on 2K, but like, if anyone I know found out I ever spent $230+ on a video game, I would get beat by my friends. My friends would beat me up.
Speaking of, not of beating up, but of spending that much money on a game, what's the most that you've ever spent on
On a video game?
a video game? Yeah.
Like, are you talking at launch over a period of time?
Interesting. Mine is probably the same. My answer is probably the same for both of those, but over time.
Oh, it's do you want a number in the game?
Rough.
2K17.
Mm-hmm.
$50 a character.
Oh, God.
I've made.
You made a bunch of characters.
I have 6 currently. Had 3 more. So let's do the math.
Numbers are hard.
Well,
Or
that's,
7,600.
so, you know, maybe 400.
Carry the forward.
Oh, my God.
Thinking about it hurts. Like, I don't want to ever admit, like, oh, God, it's just, yeah. But it's over the lifetime of the game, yeah.
Yeah, we
And one, I spent the 50 on and deleted because I soft locked him. Because I tried to do a glitch on him.
Corey, what about you?
I'm gonna say it's probably, as far as like over the life of the game, it's probably gonna be 2K, but it's not near as much as what old 7600 got for. I've got, let's see, 5 characters, but 2 of them were with gift cards. So probably in the, I don't remember how much the game was, but we got it 60
bucks.
Yeah, $60. So
If you got the
probably-
base edition,
I got the basics. I'm gonna guess around 100.
Oh, no. Yeah, I didn't get the basic edition. Yeah, that's right. I got the one with Kobe on it. I didn't get the super high Kobe one. I just got like the $70 Kobe one. Because last year, it was like 70 and 100.
Last year, was it the only thing that was different was like physical items?
I believe so.
No, they still had VC. They had like the same things. They had like the shoes and the jerseys and whatnot.
Yeah, we
I got
we
whatever
to
was the
party
most
late.
VC.
Yeah, we got to the party late.
Yeah.
I didn't. I got that bitch on launch.
The 16?
Oh,
No, no.
16. 16, no, I did get 16 early, but the rest of us, the group as a whole, didn't.
Yeah.
I
Because
had,
I
I had
got-
16 at launch.
I don't think I knew you though at the time, or if so, we didn't play. We didn't play that together. So no, I had 16. I played it a little bit, put it down, and then I came back to it when everybody else had it because they released it for the free PS Plus game that month. Everybody
Yeah,
got
that's
back in on it.
That was when I bought it.
So the most money I spent is probably on Rock Band 2.
Oh,
Because
yeah, you
all
definitely
of
did.
the peripherals, all of the extra songs, yeah, I probably north of 300
Oh, easy.
easily, probably.
But just think about it. Okay, so over the course of a game, I've spent a lot, but like, people are gonna spend more on this game, but like, just because you get a statue involved, like, really, like, you're gonna spend for a statue in the season pass, basically, because a pen and patches and a steel notebook cost them a total of $2.
Yeah.
And the statue probably honestly cost them 35, maybe.
I feel like you of all of us don't have any room to talk, Mr. However many characters.
Who, me?
Well, because it all started with my point forward point forward.
I
should've got
know.
rid of-
I remember.
Shouldn't have got rid of him, but he wasn't even good anyways. Looking back at it, I've had 2 different sharpshooters. I had my paint protector. I have my. Those are the ones I don't have anymore. But now I have my stretch big, my lockdown defender, my glass cleaner, my slasher, my playmaker.
Yeah, so at least with mine, I mean, if you like a statue, sure, but that's a hellacious price.
Let's just put it this way. Recently, I went and spent $3+ on 3 different games on pre-orders.
And
Just
you
bought
got
them
like
outright.
legend editions, or
Yeah, I got
they're
the
like
150.
exclusive for whatever it was.
Yeah, I got the $150 2K.
Shoot.
I think I just got the base Call of Duty because I'm done buying season passes with Call of Duties anymore. Like, I'll buy it if the game's good. And then I went and spent, I bought the most expensive South Park you could buy. Because I know I'm going to get season pass anyways, so just got it out of the way. And I barely spent more than what one with the 269s of. That's just crazy to me. And I'm going to get more out of it.
It's a lot. Moving on, number 4, PS4, Xbox One's NBA Live 18 adds WNBA teams. Electronic Arts has revealed that NBA Live 18 will feature both the current teams and rosters of the WNBA. Although the Women's National Basketball Association has existed for over 20 years, and legends like Lisa Leslie, Sue Bird, they've appeared in EA's NBA Street, no game has allowed you to play with the full squads of the LA Sparks, Dallas Wings, New York Liberty, or any of the other WNBA teams until this year. This follows EA's inclusion of women's teams in the FIFA series, which began with FIFA 16. So this is interesting news. I mean, I'm all for it. More representation, sure.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Skylar Diggins. Oof.
Just make your game play good. That's all we want. Make the game play good.
I'm
At
getting
all
the beta.
levels.
when it comes
All
out.
archetypes. Don't just absolutely ridiculously buff one, nerf everything else, just for your, heart people. I mean,
I think live, the defense to me looks like you actually got to play defense from everything like the EA player, the EA event they had where you guys could go out. Everything, all the videos I watched a couple guys that are my go-to in the 2K community, and they went out there, got invited. They're always pretty reputable. Agent Zero and K-Spade the Prospect. And they said if you can play defense, it forces you to. There's no like auto shot contest. Like you have to play defense. That'll create a skill gap.
I like that.
And it's the whole big thing is the offense going to be fluid, because I feel they have the archetypes kind of how they should be. I mean, they're real specific, like wing scorer, rim protector, like they're real specific, but like a scoring winger could do more than just like one thing, you know? Like if you're a sharpshooter in 2K, even though
Nothing.
I don't know. I mean, I got dunked on the other night by a sharpshooter, so
Well,
so I mean,
ours don't.
it'll be interesting. But I think the WNBA thing will be real cool.
Yeah, so currently it's only the only way that you can play with them is a WNBA Now mode, similar to NBA Now. It is interesting that 2K, which is the premier basketball game, has been for some time, has not implemented this already. I mean, they have almost the entire European League, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that, in a way, it's interesting that they beat them to the punch. But since EA, added females the female leagues with in FIFA, then interesting but not interesting. We'll see if 2K follows suit next year or something.
You would think them showing their hand this late, they're kind of daring 2K to get into it.
Yeah, so we'll see. Interesting nonetheless.
Yeah.
Number 5. This is piggybacking off of earlier we mentioned that Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy was the number one selling game for the month. More Activision game remasters are likely after Crash Insane Trilogy beats all expectations. During a post-earnings conference call with investors, Activision Blizzard discussed the game's performance and the possibility of more remasters from the company, and the odds sure sound good. Responding to a question about what Crash's success could mean, Activision CEO Eric Hirschberg said, "We knew that there was a passionate audience out there for Crash. Full disclosure, myself among them, but we had no idea. It's hard to tell if that's a vocal minority or that's a real mass audience until you put something out there. Crash has surpassed all of our expectations by a pretty wide margin." Later in the interview, he said, "So this is a strategy that clearly has our attention. And while there are no new announcements today, I think that you can be confident there will be more activity like this in the future with more great IP. The other opportunity beyond remasters is to look at some of our classic IP and ask whether or not it can be reborn on a new platform, like what we're doing with Skylanders on mobile. Our IP library is an asset that, when done right, can be very powerful." So, first thing I think of is maybe Crash Team Racing. Maybe that's coming. That's an Activision owned IP, or what'll probably likely happen is a remaster of Spyro.
If they do Spyro, I'm buying it.
I mean, I don't know. Wasn't my thing.
I still want. I mean, if we're talking about remakes, I want NFL Street 1 and 2 and NBA Street to get remade.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that ain't an Activision owned property.
No, I don't care. I still want it.
But if this will make all other publishers start looking back at their IP, possibly we should see. I feel like we'll hear about a Spyro next E3 probably. It'll either be Spyro or Crash Team Racing. So I'm all for. I've said before that old games are old, but
Yes,
to completely from the ground up rebuild a game that is there has been no Crash for a long time. There's been no Spyro for a long time. To completely overhaul the game and not just quote unquote remaster it, like Crash was built from the ground up. I kind of like the idea. That's fan service for sure.
Yeah, that's what I would consider remastered anyway.
Yeah,
Or the reboot style.
that's like a complete overhaul.
Yeah, overhaul is what remastering should be. In other
Yeah,
words.
so it's interesting. I mark my words. My prediction: next E3, Spyro. Mark it down. Come back to me next June. Number 6, PS4 shipments reach 63.3 million. Sony announces they have now shipped 63.3 million PlayStation 4 systems worldwide. The company announced this last week as part of its latest earnings report for its fiscal first quarter. This is up from 60 million for the period ended March 31st. Sony shipped 3.3 million units between April 1st and June 30th. So it just keeps on rolling. And what's interesting is systems shipped does not mean systems sold to customers.
Right.
That just means systems that they have shipped to retailers, that they have sold to retailers.
That's basically what retailers expect to sell.
Exactly.
Because they order
Exactly.
it.
And that's where these numbers are taken from.
Yeah.
Or it's units shipped. So, I mentioned earlier that I'd been playing more No Man's Sky. And I got to be honest that the game that I played this week has been completely different. Well, not completely different, but drastically different than the game that I played last year around this time. When the game launched. And, that got me thinking a lot about games that through either DLC or patches or more downloadable content, that games transformed into something that they weren't at launch, really. So what I kind of wanted to talk about is games what are the games that have benefited the most from patches or downloadable content, and how do you guys feel about this generation becoming more and more defined as, it's almost like we as gamers are being beta testers for new IPs. This happens more with new IPs than other, established franchise. Some of the examples I've got for you is The Division. That game's very different than when it launched. No Man's Sky that I've talked about. Destiny. You have Destiny Vanilla that was very bare bones until they started releasing the Taken King and all these other expansions for it. I don't really want to include early access games, but for sake of argument, I'll kind of, for instance, like Ark right now, Ark Survival, that is in early access. Fortnite is actually still in early access, and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is actually technically in early access. That game has not released as a game yet. So I wanted to talk about how games release as one thing and transform into something else, and what's your guys' thoughts on that?
Generally pissy. I know that sounds pretty hateful, but generally I'm pissy about the fact that you buy a $60 game and then you need a season pass or for $40 more or whatever it is. There are times, like with the Division that the game has to stay fresh because it is a service, as we have had before. But I don't know. Something in me don't. I guess the cheapness of my personality, the cheapy factor.
You are cheap.
I'm very cheap. I don't know. I just don't like the fact that they take all this time to release a game and then won't release the entire game without, you buy the game expecting to have a game, but then you beat it or whatever, complete it. Then you're like, oh, well, you need to buy $40 more worth of this game to continue to play it after 6 months or whatever.
So, and what they get, almost by with is
Releasing half a fucking game.
Well, that too, and with early access is you're paying for that early access.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're paying for, is to play the game through the betas, while they work everything out. So I'm conflicted because I believe that, as you said, for the most part, it's kind of anti-consumer on one part, for the simple fact that I want to be sure that I word this as best as I know how. So it's with anything, there's pros and there's cons. For one, we are getting a better version of the game whenever it quote unquote launches. However, why are we paying for it 6 months in advance then? And the reason being, really and truly, is because games cost so much money to make now.
Oh, absolutely.
It's the cost of making a game is astronomical, and they've got to get something out and get some more revenue generated so that they can continue to perfect the game. And the whole games as a service model is something we've talked about before, which I'm kind of for, but with certain things. So the main thing that it made me start thinking about this with No Man's Sky is that game is like, the well has been poisoned with that game. Like, it draws up such a negative feeling whenever that game is mentioned because so many people were burned on that game. Mm-hmm. Now, the No Man's Sky was a public relations nightmare, and it really and truly was. And I think the game released way too early, but I almost feel like their hand was a little forced, and they had to release the game early, or earlier than what they probably would have wanted. Now, I'm not going to defend all of the stuff that were blatant lies that they said was in the game and was not in the game when it shipped. I'm not going to. There's some videos that have been posted online that show everything that he said that was going to be in the game and was not in the game. So, like, yeah, that was shitty. That was shitty. I really don't feel in my heart of hearts that they were honestly trying to deceive gamers. I just think it's an extremely small team, and they were in way over their head, and they got too involved in trying to prove a concept and failed to deliver much of a game. However, they've added a ton, and I simply think that if that game would have released with the content that it has now, there wouldn't be such a sour taste in everyone's mouth whenever No Man's Sky is brought up. So, for instance, The Division, which wasn't terrible at launch and has gotten considerably better, in my opinion.
Seconded.
It's it's a way to constantly make the game better. But at the same time, I don't feel like the Division is so far removed from what it once was. Whereas No Man's Sky is very different from what it once was.
I would have to disagree on that point.
Right, well, how so?
I mean, I've never played No Man's Sky. I've seen plenty of gameplay from No Man's Sky. I've seen it day one release because it was one of those games that was very hyped. Very hyped.
Extremely hyped.
And I wasn't sure if I was going to get it, so I did what I would say 95% of most gamers do. I logged on to either Twitch or
Reddit.
YouTube, and I watched. I watched if when someone I followed on there was streaming it. I watched it. It looked interesting. It looked very monotonous and grindy, which I mean, some people enjoy that, but it seemed like it was very, very. There was a lot of repetition involved. There wasn't the grinding for materials and whatnot wasn't different for each material like some games are. Like in Skyrim and other games, you can grind different ways to do different things. In the Division, I mean, I had it day one, and it was this completely. It was it was the first game I ever played with the whole third-person over-the-shoulder shooter. That was a looter as well. In a very real, you could visualize and like think that this could actually happen. The story was good. There was questions of the story that after you got done playing, you were like, man, hope the DLCs answer these. Never did.
No.
And the game got to a point where golds or rares in the loot tree were so hard to find that if you got to the dark zone or you got one in a mission, you freaked out. I remember many times running with a group of 4, getting one gold item and extracting immediately. Then that's when the game started to die. Realistically, it started to die because people quit playing because you can't improve if you can't find. They, as Josh always says, they lost the carrot that you want to chase. They lost it.
It got so far out in front of you that you lost sight of it.
Yeah, there's nothing there you can't smell it anymore. And then once they increased the loot pools, because for a while they took away open world bosses, you couldn't farm anymore. They brought them back, but you could only farm them once every 4 hours. That's okay because there's other stuff you can do. They added harder difficulties. They added incursions. Then they started adding new gear sets. Once the gear sets came in, the game completely changed. But then after a while, it became everyone running the same thing. They nerfed them into the ground. And it's taken probably, I would say, 3 major patches for it to get to the point where, I mean, it's hard because the game's 2 years old now, but it's to the point with 1.7 is getting ready to come out that they've added more to the DZ. They've made it so you're not afraid to go in the DZ alone anymore. That was a big thing for a while. That's where the best gear is. Have fun going in when you know a guy's going to shoot you. Take your stuff, you're going to lose XP. It's a complete 180. And if the Division came out like it stands today, I don't think we're talking about the Division not meeting expectations. I think we're talking about the Division being one of the best games in the past 5 years. Just because what you can do in it. I mean, you can get lost in the DZ for hours on end. You can run the missions. There's legendary level missions now that require teamwork, communication, and knowing when skills are coming off cooldown, and everyone has a precise role to play within said group. When on the higher difficulties on the incursions, it requires 4 different people, different play styles to get it accomplished. It's truly on the hard difficulty, is a true cover to cover shooter. You have to stay in cover, because if you don't, you're getting melted. And I just don't think No Man's Sky has gotten better. I just don't think it's gotten to the point where you could say, is it where it should be is it now where it should have been where it launched? Yes, but I don't think they've done enough to be like completely, totally rectified how bad it was at launch.
I think part of that opinion comes from how sour of a reception it was on launch. I mean, there was people demanding back money for the game, like,
yes,
that had played it, and because they were misled. But I believe I've heard some other people say this, that like if you actually paid attention to some of the critics and some of the influencers, and listened to them, you should have tempered your expectations. But as far as the argument between The Division, No Man's Sky, Destiny, so the way that I look at The Division is the main thing that has been tweaked with The Division. There's been, the survival mode was added, the PvP outside of the Dark Zone part was added, and I kind of look at that as that is like DLC, and it doesn't drastically alter the game. The thing that was mostly altered was the loot reward system. They gave you better loot so that you could have better builds. Like we talked about the carrot, they put the carrot where you could see the carrot. The carrot was always dangling right there. It was one grind session away from getting a better piece of gear or whatnot. With Destiny, I feel like they added additional content to where it was very bare bones. They added additional more missions, more strikes, so on and so forth. Develop the lore a little bit more. That's kind of what Destiny done. And No Man's Sky, for instance, when it released, No Man's Sky was basically a space flight simulator where you flew through these planets. I've always thought it looked great. I love the art style. I love the mindless, just kind of, it's almost relaxing gameplay. But all it was is you had your spaceship and you went and you landed on a planet. You mined resources to build stuff to add to your spaceship so that you could go further on towards, closer to the center of the universe. And that was it. That was literally it. It was an inch deep and a fucking mile wide. That's how shallow the game was. There was literally nothing else there. You ran your spaceship, you landed on planets, you found resources to upgrade your ship to go further towards the center of the universe. Nothing else. That was it. So, there was a little bit of a trade system with commodities and stuff, but that was stuff that you mined from the planets that you landed on. That's it. Now, when I pop back in, like I said, this week and played, there's base building. So you can build and customize these huge bases. You can name home planets. You can transport yourself between said bases on your home planets. You can hire workers. You can grow crops. You can grow your resources where it's automated. You have there have been vehicles added, so you could even transportation in the game and traveling in the game has changed. The way that you traverse the environments has changed. You can buy freighters, so you can store even more content. It's very different. There is more depth to the game. Some would argue that it's, like you said, that it's not enough. But I feel like if it had launched like that initially, it wouldn't be unsavable like it is now. So, yeah, I'm not as adverse to it when it's done like The Division is. The Destiny, I'm not as huge fan of, because the Taken King, whenever it got good, whenever they added more content, you had to buy that shit. You had to buy the shit that actually made the game what it was supposed to be. Now, the Division, they changed the loot system. That was free. That was free for everyone. So I'm not as hard on stuff like that. More of a game as a service. No Man's Sky, they altered the game completely. That game is very different. It was free, but the game was very different. More systems that weren't in the other one. As far as Destiny, those same strikes or those same missions and whatnot was in the other one. There just wasn't a lot of them, and the lore wasn't very developed or whatnot. So that's where that's my stance, and to where I'm okay, and I'll let stuff like the Division slide because free updates, they did make the game better. Destiny, some of these people, you had to spend $200 to get the full Destiny experience.
Trash.
So, and No Man's Sky, while free, was very overpromised and underdelivered. So, that's just kind of, I thought it's an interesting, and I think really and truly we're just going to have more of this because, games cost a lot of money, and this is a way for them to get,
More money.
to get it in, an influx of cash so that they have more capital to spend and make the game, better. I also was listening to this and heard this, maybe it was last week, where people were talking about, pre-orders, and someone was talking about the negative part of pre-orders, and, vote with your wallet. Don't if you have these issues, don't pre-order. And someone said pre-orders is actually one of the metrics that developers use to predict server load. So if whenever you pre-order, like, oh, we have this many pre-orders, then this is what they expect, the expected amount of players. That's a good way to judge what their server load or whatnot will be. I thought that was an interesting little tidbit. Anyways, moving on. Listener mail. We got 3 questions today. They're not very in depth. Hank the Tank asks, do you like buying used games?
Yes.
Absolutely.
That is literally how my gaming addiction was fueled as a wee little youngster. I would scrape money up and convince my mom or my dad to give me money, and I'd go to the old GameStop or
Blockbuster.
local places around here, and I'd buy used games.
I do not like buying used games.
No surprise.
No, they got to be checked and certified, right? Like, they're not gonna give you a shit game, and if it doesn't work, you take it back within a week, and they give you a new one, right?
Here is why. Embrace the digital revolution. It's coming. Get it over with. Then we can have cheaper games overall.
How am I supposed to embrace the digital revolution when I'm trying to buy NFL Street on the PS2, Josh? Huh?
Get off my lawn.
That's very different.
No, it's used. It's used game.
That's different. Okay, so
He wasn't specific.
I don't know what, but I'm pretty sure that this question was for, for instance, at GameStop, where you could buy a used game. Here's another thing: buying a used game doesn't benefit the developer at all. It's benefiting GameStop.
I don't give a damn. Not anymore. They changed that, by the way. That's good news.
When?
Yeah, a couple months ago, they changed it, so they don't got to push used games anymore.
I got to look into this. If this is true, then this completely.
Oh, look it up, friend, because
this completely went by me, because the last news I heard was they was pushing used games harder.
Not anymore. They changed it because once it got broke, that news that got that big article that got broke that it was part of the employees commission and whatnot.
Yeah,
they changed it because everyone figured it out.
I do not know anything about this. I have to look this up.
Look it up.
I'm going to come back to this next week.
Yeah, we'll have a conversation about it. We'll go to war.
Because I don't. But my point is, I don't like them. Let the digital revolution happen. Let's get this physical bullshit gone, so that we can get cheap games on cheap digital games.
All 3 of the games I pre-ordered, Josh. All
Hard
physical.
copy.
Digital. I'm all digital. It's going to be.
Josh.
Hey, when's the last time you bought a physical CD, an actual CD?
A year ago.
Exactly. When's the last time you listened to something digitally?
You
Spotify,
understand?
YouTube,
I have Apple
iTunes.
Music, bitch.
Exactly. That's my point.
I don't listen to poor.
It's coming. Don't listen to poor. It's coming. You can't stop it. It'll be
Hey,
exactly the same. It'll be exactly the same way. Hi, you're the one that's not refusing to change. I'm not the get off my lawn guy. Y'all are the get off my lawn guys.
You know how many digital games I have on my PS4 currently?
All
There's
of them.
a fact. A majority of my games are digital right now.
It's not that I'm refusing to change. The cheapness of my personality
Bingo.
is distracting me from actually paying
Because
full price when I have an option
there's
to not
time.
pay full price.
there's times where on PSN a game will still be $60, but I can go into GameStop and get a brand new copy, still in the plastic, for like half or less price.
That's my point. If we stop doing that, these digital games will be cheaper.
Why doesn't PlayStation do it then? Why is a PlayStation price match? Make the shit like Walmart. Price match, bitch. Price match.
Why don't they do it? It's very simple. Because this is a topic for another. This is a game. I've talked about this. How I want to do this topic as an entire show, as the digital revolution.
We can do it next week. I'll go to war.
I don't know that we can do it next week. I need some time to get some stuff together. But the reason why is because they need the brick and mortar stores there to sell their hardware.
Mm-hmm.
So they can't drop the price they can't drop GTA Online to $50 and it still be sell for $60 in the store because they need the brick and mortar stores to sell the hardware. So, however, digital games are simply cheaper. They're cheaper to make. They're cheaper to manufacture. You don't have to pay all of that. You don't have to pay to get the prints, the paper, the inserts made. You don't have to pay to get the disc made. You don't have to pay to get the case made. You don't have to pay for any of that. You don't have to pay for the trucks to ship the games to the stores. You don't have to pay for any of that.
Multiple fields of workers. I'm putting food on some little kid's table because I'm buying physical. Buying him school clothes and whatnot.
Digital revolution is happening. Get with it.
Oh God, we're gonna fight about this till the day I die. Continue.
It's going to be an interesting episode when this one happens because I want it to happen and I want a unique perspective on it. Anyway, do I like buying used video games? No. So it's 2-1.
We win.
We
Shut
win.
up. Go home.
It would actually probably be. I'm sure Smitty would be in the agree with you. 3-1.
You can't. The dragon is a wild card. You never know what he's gonna do.
That's also
Continue.
true. Number 2, Caleb asks, Wildlands, The Division, and Rainbow Six Siege are all on sale on PSN. Which one should I buy? Hold up for one. I don't know that they're still on sale whenever this releases. But anyways, which one should he buy?
Well, I wish I could ask him because there's prerequisites I would ask him. 1, what does your budget look like? How much money are you willing to spend? 2, how serious are you into playing? Because I know the Division story mode, absolutely fantastic. They tell a great story. You will get sucked in, and you will, once you hit in the grind to 30, is something glorious. And then it's a grind. So if you like a grind, that would work. Wildlands, if you just want a game you can play with random people or with a group of friends and jump in and out of, Wildlands is your go-to. There's some grinding, but not really. Rainbow Six Siege, if you're looking to play competitive and you want to play that as like your serious first-person shooter and that be your main, go with that one. It depends on really what you want. Personally, I would go with the Division. It holds a very special place in my heart.
I would say my favorite game out of all these is the Division. But I would say Wildlands. Here's why. The Division is a lot of grind. It's a lot of time. If you're wanting an they're all on sale. You want a succinct, a nice little fun experience, and then you move on. If that's the way that you play games, then Wildlands. You can do that. You can play Wildlands. The Division is a huge learning curve. If you get into the builds, you tear the builds. You start digging into min-maxing your character. It can be a daunting task. Same with Rainbow Six Siege. Plus, the Division, not so much anymore. And Rainbow Six Siege, very toxic communities.
Yeah.
Potentially. The Division is not as bad as it used to be, but it used to be bad. So there's a big learning curve on both Rainbow Six Siege and the Division. As far as just getting in and getting your hands dirty and playing right away, I say Wildlands.
Yeah. As far as overall learning experience or learning curve and gaming experience to start, definitely Wildlands.
But I mean, with
But
the Division,
total
there's
immersive experience, probably Division.
there's so many, because the game's been out for long enough. People have figured out the math of said Division, and there's so many. I don't know, Josh, if you know this, but there's spreadsheets and all kinds of stuff out there where you can input everything to either find in what percentile your gun's base damage roll is, what your armor roll is. Like you can min-max your build extremely easy now.
Yeah, but
Unlike
still,
what
there's
it came out.
spreadsheets out there that you got to go and you got to find the community, get it on the Reddit with that spreadsheet that you've got. That's something completely outside of the video game, though. Is what I'm saying.
But it's very easy to do.
But as far as just getting in and playing the game, it's wild. I can sit right here and boot up Wildlands and play it, and I don't have to go outside of that. I don't have to get into another community. Now, if you're 2 years late, but I enjoyed that. And as I say, my favorite game of the three is the Division.
Yes.
But as of right now, at this time, not knowing anything, I would go Wildlands.
And at the end of the day, it's what do you want out of it? I mean, it's how in depth you want to get.
Yeah, if you're wanting that, absolutely, the Division, go for it.
Because
And I would agree with Corey 100%. Oh yeah, and Corey 100%. The learning curve on Siege, I've played it, I picked up, I've dropped it. You can definitely tell when you play a high level Siege player that's been playing for a very long time.
Absolutely.
I've watched some Twitch streams, yeah, it's for sure.
If you watch competitive, it's on the computer, it's on the PC. But oh my, it's ridiculous the level difference of just positioning and everything and where they set everything up at. It's unreal.
Third question, Old Dirty Possum asks, nice name by the way. What is your go-to gaming snack or beverage?
Can it be both? Can I give them both?
Sure.
If I'm sitting down and I'm going to grind, I'm talking built new player, time to get badges. First thing I do, go to my local Walmart, pick up a case of Mountain Dew.
Jesus, it's so stereotypical. What, a bag of Doritos?
Doritos.
Second thing I do, I get Tyson Buffalo chicken strips, and then I get Tostitos and their queso, and I just stay up for like 48 hours. Other than that, usually water, maybe some pretzels.
I'm typically more of a water, pretty much a water, and that's about it. Usually don't eat around here, around the TV for the most part, but I mean, I will, oatmeal cream pie, something like that. But for the most part,
You're an oatmeal cream pie guy?
Yeah, or a fudge round, here or there.
I pictured you more as like a nutty bar, maybe a honey bun, maybe some donut stick kind of guy.
No, I'm not.
Donut stick.
I'm not a sweet. What the fuck? A donut stick? What am I? 12?
I know, right?
Lunchbox.
Is he?
Y'all
He
don't
got
fuck- y'all don't
or he
fuck
got
with
his
donut
cup,
sticks?
or he's old as fuck with his cup of coffee, dunking his
Dunking in
donut
it.
stick in there.
What? Fuck
This
me,
all
right?
coming from the guy that just drank hot tea. So
Yeah. How y'all feel about sweet tea? Y'all fuck with sweet tea while you're playing some video games?
I don't fuck with sweet tea.
Josh is
What?
Period. I don't fuck with sweet tea. Period.
Yeah.
So do I have more of a southern card than you do? Because I fuck with sweet tea on a real spiritual level.
I like unsweet tea if I want to drink tea at all.
What is wrong with you? And you want to say you're from the south?
I don't like sweet tea.
Well, put one more in the Brock's more southern than you
I
category.
also try to rebel against my southern upbringing as much as possible because I feel like I'm often thought of as because of the way that I sound, the way that I talk, my accent, that I'm way more unintelligent than I actually am. So I rebel against it more than I probably should. But I don't like sweet tea.
Redneck.
Do
I
what,
was told
Corey?
recently.
Embrace the redneck.
Nah, I can't do it.
Embrace it. Let it flow through your veins. I was told recently I have a southern accent.
You do not.
If you do not, but if you do, it's because you talk to us so much.
Yeah.
I do say a lot of southern things. Fuck 'em, feed 'em, fatback has become a staple of my vocabulary as of late.
You're welcome.
I did catch
welcome.
myself going, fuck 'em, the other day.
So my go-to, I'm kind of with Corey. I don't really eat much while I'm gaming because it gets on my fingers, and then I can't really, and then it fucks up my controller. Then my controller is greasy or whatnot. And I typically only drink water. Sometimes I'll bring a cider up because I can't drink beer. But that's a rare occasion. Typically, it's just water, and I don't usually eat. But if I do eat, it's typically something that isn't very dirty. So, for instance, something like maybe a sandwich. I will probably, whenever, what are you laughing at? Like an entire sandwich. Yeah. So it's not dirty. Like it's
A
you can
sandwich?
hold it. You can hold it.
What happens if you put a little too much condiments on it or something and it just fucks up and gets all over your hand?
Nah, see, you don't fuck with that. You make sure you do it right.
So what kind of sandwich? Like a turkey? So what do you put on your turkey sandwich?
Yeah,
Say
just-
turkey sandwich.
Just typically just mustard, turkey, and cheese.
You put mustard on it? Oh,
Fuck
man.
yeah, I love mustard.
Not the wave. It's all about
It's
mayo
good.
or Miracle Whip.
No, mustard. Simple. Now, if I'm
Miracle
gonna like,
Whip. What kind of Yankee bullcrap is that?
You've never had a good Miracle Whip sandwich?
I've used it before.
I don't
It's not
like
bad.
it.
I mean, it's really like if there's no mayo, it's like, because I can't eat just like a dry turkey sandwich. Because what kind
I
of
would put water
crazy
on it
person am I?
before Miracle Whip.
I don't want people thinking I'm super weird, man.
You already are. You're making Miracle Whip sandwiches.
It's like a last resort. Like, we've never had Miracle Whip in my house. But like some of my friends, like that's all their family buys is Miracle Whip.
Well,
They don't believe in like Hellman's.
yeah, like down in the South, I'm sure that most everybody knows this by now. Each family has their own thing. They have their vehicle brand, their soda brand, their mayonnaise brand, whatever.
Oh, it's the same way up here.
Whatever it is. And, you know,
JFG.
yeah,
That's the only type of mayonnaise.
What's JFG?
it's mayonnaise.
It's mayonnaise.
I understand, but like, what's JF? Does it stand for anything? That's what I was
That's
asking.
the brand.
Oh,
name.
it's the brand name.
Okay. I didn't know if it was like I just know it was the brand name, but I didn't know if it stood for anything. Like up here,
I have no
my
idea.
family is a big Hellman's fan.
Hellman's are working a pinch.
Yeah, absolutely. Never Dukes.
See, Megan's family is a Duke's family.
Figures.
And I'm like, I can't get down with that.
Yeah.
Corey can't eat Dukes
Figures-
just because it has Duke in the name of it, and that's
Figures
against his
in-laws
religious.
would be
Exactly.
anybody's, the people's in-laws. You know, everybody's supposed to not get along with their in-laws. They would be the Dukes fans. The ones that nobody likes.
So
I'm not saying Megan's in-laws aren't great because they're hilarious.
to move on, because we're running long. Brock, you have the rogue topic, right?
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Let's run through this real quick.
What is it with people?
Fuck 'em.
Assuming-
Fuck people.
Fuck
Oh,
them.
Yeah,
there's
that's
more.
it.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, assuming they know the whole story, and then like just saying like half of what they want to say and none of it being correct. This kind of gets back what we were talking about before. I don't want to bring it up; it's a long story, but like they just like make assumptions. Like, why do people just always make assumptions about shit they don't know anything about? God, it pisses me off.
Is that what really grinds your gears?
Oh my god! Like,
Does that get your goat?
it makes me want to put my dukes up, and I ain't got no dukes.
Yeah, that's bad mayonnaise, bro.
Never good. Like, our friend, he literally in a group text, Josh and Corey were in this, said, "Brock, I heard what you did Saturday night. You're legendary. You're a legend in my mind."
Right.
And I've told the story to them. There ain't nothing legendary about what I did.
It's very average.
It's at best it's average.
I mean, I'm not
dealing.
I'm not knocking what happened. I'm not.
Oh no,
casting-
because it's working out really well for me right now.
It's just. What the hell did he hear?
That's what I'm trying to
He
figure out.
obviously heard something that he didn't think he heard.
Is he trying to read too? That's the assuming thing. Is he assuming maybe a little something didn't happen?
You know what happens when you assume, right?
Make an ass out of you and me.
Yep. You
He
know.
can keep assuming,
That's another
and
thing
he
I'll tell
won't.
you.
And he won't respond. He won't tell me what I did, so I don't know.
So I think this is with. It's just in our human nature to want to talk about shit, to gossip. Some people do it more than others. It's our Facebook. It's the Facebook culture. Everything's out there for everybody to fucking see, and everybody's got an opinion on it.
Yeah, everybody has an opinion on everything, but now everybody can read those opinions.
Yeah, we now have a platform, so everyone has always had opinions on everything. It's just that now we have a platform to make those opinions be seen and heard and upvoted and liked and loved and
I'm
shared.
not 100% sure if that's. On one hand, for me, that's great because I think everyone having a voice and having a say and being heard is fantastic because everyone lives a different life. But on the other side, there's some real uneducated, just asinine shit you see on Facebook. I mean, there's just some shit I'm like, did you really type this? Read it. And then we're like, yeah, this works. Like, what? Like, there's some shit I see that it just literally, it scratches my head that people really think, like, they don't, sometimes people just don't check facts and just start saying shit.
I'm just like, this child was left behind. W did not get to this one.
W. Shout out to W. Love you, big guy. C's get degrees.
So
I just don't get it.
yeah, that's a double-edged sword. And
really
the
is.
vocal minority the few bad apples always ruin it for everybody else.
They always scream the loudest.
So
It
it's
is another toxic community, is what you're trying to say.
it's just like, I've read numerous times, the world is actually a more peaceful place than it ever has been. The problem is we have more access than we have ever had to all of the bad news.
I don't even watch the news anymore, to be honest with you. It's all negative most of the time.
I try and stay away. I go to a few outlets that I trust because it's skewed so heavily one way or the other.
Everybody
ridiculous.
has their own news channel. to hear what they
Everyone
want.
has an agenda that they're trying to push. So I go to a few outlets that I trust, a few people, a few talking heads that I trust, and I get my news through those people. And I kind of do this the same way for games information. I go to a few people that I trust their opinion, that I agree most with their opinions on and their outlooks on stuff, and that's where I get my news from. So, yeah, it's just our culture. It's the way that our access to information. We have a scary amount of access to information right now, and it's just going to get more and more. So. That's my opinion on the matter.
World's getting smaller. That's for sure.
And the crazy thing is, no one wants to show the positives on anything because it doesn't get views. The good shit that happens, it seems like always gets like kind of pushed out of the way because no one cares because it doesn't get views, doesn't get clicks, doesn't get comments. There's good shit happening out there, people. Trust me. It's just you got to sort through the negative, pushed bullshit sometimes. Because there are good people and good things happening in this world.
100%.
Oh,
Sure, bro.
Sure.
Shout out to 305.
Shout out to 305.
I haven't talked to him in a while. Let's see what he's up to.
I talked to him last week. He'll probably miss me after listening to this podcast.
Good dude. Good dude.
Yep. So, as you know, if you listen to the show, we like to round it out every week with our band pick of the week. It's just it's a little segment where we want to, show somebody some love, send you out to listen to a new band, try to kind of expand your musical horizons. Do you guys have a band of the week?
Always.
Are you going to go or are you just going to...
Well, I mean, I didn't hear you say anything, so I figured maybe you were thinking.
This is the problem with recording remotely.
Yes, I don't see facial expressions.
We don't get to see each other, and I don't like to get to look at your your beautiful ginger face.
Oh, it's only part ginger.
Or Brock's developing beard.
Yes.
Josh did comment on that today.
I did.
I didn't even notice it because I was in the dump truck. Couldn't really see very well.
No. Corey, you can go ahead. You commented first. I have mine. It's just figured you were going first.
Oh, okay. Well, since we've been moving and all this junk, I've needed something to keep me motivated. I've been listening to a band. I don't know if I've actually talked about them before, but I've been listening to them a lot today. Trivium, actually. They're a thrash metal band.
They released a new song
band.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Go check that out. That's a pretty good song.
Yeah.
I'm pumped for their new stuff.
Yeah, they've been around a while now. I mean, I still consider them a newer band because we kind of caught them before they were, I guess, quote unquote big.
Yeah, we caught them right whenever they signed with the Roadrunner.
Right.
Yeah,
and
that's pretty big.
we just kind of followed them through there, so their ups and downs have been fairly, close, near, and dear to us, like as far as their album releases and things. So we've kind of followed their career path, and I like where they're going. Some just like anything else, some's good, some's marginal, but you stay the same, you're never going to get anywhere. So, but they've always stayed thrashy, and it always keeps me motivated.
Thrash till I die.
You could say so.
I'm with you. So, again, I forget if I've talked about bands before, but this week I listened to some Jonan. Now, this is a kind of a I don't really know, kind of a progressive-ish metal band. Kind of light, I will go light progressive metal. So they got two albums out. That's called they haven't put anything out since 2015, but they have two albums, The Secret and Blizzard. Blizzard was their album they put out in 2015. They're both very good. They're both similar. Whereas Trivium's released multiple albums and their sound has evolved. Jonan's, they hit something and they stuck with it. Not that it's a bad thing. I enjoy it. But definitely go listen to The Secret. I think that's a really, really good album. Plus, they dress up as ninjas when they perform, so that's cool too.
I thought that was that band. I thought that was who that was.
Yeah. Or at least they used to. I don't know if they still do, but
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that, and I saw it on YouTube.
yes, sir. What about you, Brock?
This one might surprise you guys a little bit.
Nothing surprised me with you.
And the listeners. I'm going outside of what you guys would say would be my normal listening lane.
Okay.
It's Sleeping with Sirens.
Okay.
All their stuff's really good, but I'm actually going to say like a specific album. It's only I think it's like 5 songs long. It's more of an EP in a sense. It's
Right.
If you were a movie, this would be your soundtrack.
Okay. It is interesting for me.
It's only 18 minutes, and it's more of like an acoustic-y kind of one from them, because all the songs that are on this are popular songs from them, but they have like full songs, like, and these are more seem a little slower and more acoustic renditions of them, and it really shows off Kellen Quinn's voice. That boy can sing.
He does have he has a very recognizable voice.
I mean, he's not what's his toes that you guys absolutely
He's
just.
not Johnny
He's
Craig
not Johnny Craig.
Oh God.
or Dallas Green, but
Yeah.
I mean,
No, hey. I don't even know who.
We
I
can't.
don't know whose bands they sing for. I don't even. I've never actually heard those guys sing, so.
why not?
If you didn't know, we are Headset Havoc. We're a weekly podcast released every Wednesday, rain or shine. This has been one of those rain times, but we got through it, guys. We powered through it.
Miss you, buddy.
We'll be back hopefully as a foursome next week. But if you like what you heard, go over to patreon.com/headset-havoc. Show us some love there. You can support us there. You can support us. An audio version gets put up on YouTube. You can support us there. Follow us at headset-havoc on Twitter. Go to facebook.com/headset-havoc. Drop a like there. Follow us. That's about it.
We appreciate you guys.